going on, everybody? Pete Simonetti here for NYY News TV. As I was out yesterday exploring the wilderness, being the ghetto cowboy that I have become, I just all of a sudden start getting bling, 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 bling notifications saying, Pete, Sean Casey is the new hitting coach of the New York Yankees. I send out some messages to the people that are quote unquote in the know, that I know, and immediately 3 of them came back. Boone's buddy. Understandable. Makes sense. And, you know, I have certain thoughts about it and concerns and positives and things of that nature, but I'll be honest, it is the day after, and I couldn't do my initial reaction because I was exploring the wilderness. All right, city cowboy Pete is, getting the howdy doodies done and all those things that you got to do when you live in the country area. Okay, I wanted to go over a lot of the people, quote unquote, again in the know of what they're saying about it. So I got some reactions all together. I want to talk about them and really just go from there. And then I'll give my opinion too, but I want to see what the fans are thinking. So let's go ahead and cut over to the first one. This might be my favorite thing. This is from Alex Rodriguez. Let's take a listen to A-Rod.
Alex, you have no opinions on the Yankees. I'm only kidding. You have a few. I did think it was very interesting what Ken said about Sean. Look, he's one of the most positive people you ever meet, right? But the switch maybe from less analytical to more just kind of hands-on approach. What do you think of this?
Well, I think good news is at least a name that we recognize. A guy that's been around the game, that's been very, very successful. And Kenny's right. He's one of the best communicators in the game, one of the most likable guys. I think long-term he can be a really, really good coach. My bigger question is the macro. If you're the New York Yankees and you've won 27 world championships and you go into this dive analytics and you're 0 for 15, I would throw all that analytics in the garbage and get back to playing hard school Yankee baseball, which for some reason we've divorced, and it's just bad.
So there you have it, out of the words of one of the best baseball minds in the sport, Alex Rodriguez. And guys, we already know this, right? This is something that a lot of us has brought up time and time again. So one of the themes you're going to hear about Sean Casey is he's very likable and he's a great communicator. Those are 2 things. Hitting is a mindset. You got to have communication. Maybe that is something Dylan Lawson just did not have at all, but you got to have communication, right? That is a major, major part of being a coach, being a leader. You know, being somebody that other people want to follow is, hey, this person can communicate well enough with me that I trust them. I believe them. I think we can get the goal done that they want to have accomplished. And you're going to hear that a lot on a couple of the sound bites here I'm going to play. When it comes to the analytics side of things, A-Rod is also onto something here. This is something we spoke about a lot, and I've said it before. I wouldn't necessarily just say it's the analytic way the Yankees are doing it. I think they're just doing the analytics wrong. And look, a lot of this stuff has been blown up because teams are using it. And again, guys, we got, players that have been in this game for a long time. Derek Jeter himself, they asked him flat out on Noriega's podcast. I always forget what it's called. It's not ringing a bell right now. But flat out, Derek Jeter, he asked him, what is the biggest difference of when you played and now? He said flat out, analytics. It was the first thing that came out of his mind. It's not the human element as much anymore. Alex Rodriguez, hell, Eric Kratz on our show right here said it. The analytics said, the Yankees have thrown away a lot of the baseball guys and have put an analytic department kind of to control the majority of what happens. And analytics isn't bad, but you got to have a middleman. You got to have somebody that is funneling what is going through. Cool, that's all great. Let's get that to Casey. Cool, that's all great. Let's get that to Cashman and co. That is the biggest problem. And I still think Mike Fishman is a guy that has to go. But again, I'm going to get to my points on to firing and the timing of it and all that stuff really soon. But I want to keep this right now about Sean Casey. Let's hear Kevin Millar, who was a teammate of Sean Casey with the Boston Red Sox, and I believe in the minor leagues or knew him well. Let's take a listen.
Big news about Sean Casey today. I know it's been all over the network. It was all over in our group chat. He has been named the Yankees hitting coach. He's agreed to take the job through the 2023 season. How excited are you?
I'm thrilled to death for him, and I will tell you this. Sometimes it's such a business, right? What we got to do in our jobs. But at the end of the day, this is baseball. You want to talk about a baseball player, Sean Casey? I played against him all the way through the minor leagues. He was the most unbelievable hitter I've ever seen, and I'm not just saying that. The guy was always around that 370, 380 in the minor leagues, and flirting with 400. Tremendous gap-to-gap hitter. Power we can talk about later. I always mess with him because he had no home runs with the Red Sox when he went. He hit 300, and he retired as a 300 hitter. My point to this is this. Hitting is a mindset, Sierra and Ryan. And to hit and go walk in that batter's box when you guys are throwing 98 and sliders and breaking balls, you got to have a mindset where you believe you're the best. Sean Casey is one of the best human beings I've been around, as you know. And this guy's going to bring a different mindset that's going to be fun. There's a personal side to it. The business side of it can go away, but he's going to talk to the dudes and care about dudes because that's what he does.
Yeah, and I just think it's amazing, too. He always talks when he loves talking hitting. I mean, you're around him, it's like hitting. But he loves talking about the competition. Sometimes in today's game, because of where we are in the world with analytics and data and all this stuff, we get engulfed by that. You know, we get paralysis by analysis. In cases like, keep it simple, competing against the guy that's 60 feet 6 inches away. And that's the same thing for me as a pitcher. You know, when you're going through those struggles or something, how do we just compete? And I think he's just going to really bring that great element to these players. They're lucky to have a guy like him. Aaron Boone's lucky to get a hitting coach like Sean Casey. So a great pickup for the New York Yankees and a good opportunity for Case to be a...
I like that. Again, that is coming from two former major leaguers. Ryan Dempster, of course, faced Sean Casey. And, of course, Kevin Millar played with Sean Casey. And that is a constant thing you hear. And you also hear Ryan Dempster at the end say, right, you know, as things are becoming so analytic, you kind of lose focus on other things. What's in front of you? Who is that pitcher standing there? And it's the same game. Hitting is a mindset. You got to know you're the best. You got to want to be the best. And it is good to maybe have a communicator. I don't remember I call every single game, every pitch. You guys know. And if I'm not doing it, somebody on my team is, but I'm right there watching with them. You very rarely have a moment where you say, that guy had a horrible at-bat, or that guy is really struggling. Let me see where Dylan Lawson is. I've never seen, is that the hitting coach? Oh, no, that's Anthony Rizzo. Is that the, oh, no, that's not the hitting coach. That's Aaron Judge. Is the hitting coach going to talk to these guys? Like, is the hitting coach going to say, hey, man, chin up. Come on, man. We worked on these things. I like Sean Casey. One, A-Rod said this, and I talked about this, and people came at me. He's a recognizable name. We know who Sean Casey is. If anybody goes, the hitting coach of the Yankees is Sean Casey. Oh, shit, Casey was a good ball player. Not necessarily meaning that transition's over. It's a lot of great players. Barry Bonds apparently wasn't a great hitting coach. Mark McGwire had a job for a minute. I don't know how great he was, but, you know, I don't think he's out there doing it too much now. So I don't know. But the one thing we have on Sean Casey is we have a lot of insight of how his mind thinks. And you really hear Casey talk about the mechanics of baseball much more than, well, you know, the elevation of the ball, the launch angles, exit velocities. You hear him talk a lot about an approach and a style of an AB. And hell, to have a guy who barely struck out is a pretty nice thing. I'm going to bring a couple of tweets up too. This is from our friend at NYYST, Christian. This is a tweet I put out that I'm going to bring this tweet up later to see a lot of what the fans have been saying. I wrote, how are you feeling about the Casey move? Just to get people's reactions while I was in the wilderness. Christian said, Sean Casey is a career 302 hitter and he never struck out more than 88 times in a season. I'm not in love with his ties to Boone, but from a hitting standpoint, I like the hire. The way he hit is more like the way the Yankees need to hit and have that different style approach. I agree with that 100%, and that's why I put this out there. I want to see what the fans said. But before we move any further, how about we take a listen to what the man himself has to say about becoming the new Yankee hitting coach? Let's listen to Sean Casey on the mayor's office.
Clean. Sean Casey, you are now the hitting coach for the Pinstripes, the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
I cried. I've already cried to you today, but I'm going to cry at some point during this. Just give me your initial impression, man. I love you.
You know what, man? I mean, I'm very, very, very excited. Boone is one of my dear friends. Have so much respect for the Yankee organization. Brian Cashman, Hank Steinbrenner, all those guys, Randy Levine, everybody, Tim Naring, just guys that I do know. And, just the fact that I have the opportunity to get in the same room with guys like Aaron Judge and Josh Donaldson and Anthony Rizzo and DJ LeMahieu and, just some Anthony Volpe and just, all great players in and up and down that lineup. It was a perfect storm for me for really taking a shot and, getting back in the dugout. And I'm really fired up, man. I'm really fired up and I'm really excited. And I'm excited, Yankee Nation's real. As soon as this thing got posted out there, man, it's pretty incredible. So I'm excited to connect with the Yankee fans. But more importantly, I'm really excited to connect with those guys in that clubhouse and have an impact.
Yeah. And wait, go backwards. You talking about, you're going to be in the dugout with Aaron Boone again. You've told me
yeah,
you guys cried when he got traded when you were at the Reds, and now you're going to be with one of your best friends in the game in the pinstripes in New York. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I was just talking to Danny Graves because Gravy's going in the Reds Hall of Fame this weekend, and him and Bronson Arroyo, and I was really excited to go there. I'm in the Reds Hall of Fame, to kind of, it's kind of a unique thing we do every 2 years. And, Gravy was such a big deal. So I just called him and was joking around because, those teams, the teams that I have on the wall, the 99 Reds, all those guys, Boone was on that team. And, we developed a big friendship over these years. And, Boone's just one of those guys. This opportunity was big for me, and a big part of it was because of Aaron Boone. And I just respect him as the Yankees manager, respect him as a friend. I respect him as a baseball guy. I mean, I played for his dad. I played with his brother. Just the Boone family, they're just wonderful people. And when Boone called me, man, I was an opportunity where I really had to, think about it at first. I have 2 girls that are home and 2 sons that are in college. And listen, this last year, there's been so many things going on. My dad had 2 open heart surgeries. My fiance, Sarah, just got done with her cancer treatment. She had breast cancer. So, just got done with her 20th radiation, the months of chemo and all that craziness and the surgery. So, I think if those factors were still in play, it would have been tough to do. But the fact that, they're not and she's cancer free and my dad's feeling great and my kids were on board, it just works, man. It really works. And it just makes me that much more excited.
So again, immediately off the bat, right, you get likable guy. There's no denying that. I could probably sit down and talk with Sean Casey for hours. I mean, he just seems like that type of guy. You also do hear him bring up immediately that, him and Aaron Boone go back and the family goes back and he's a very close family friend. That's immediately what I was told when I sent some messages to the people that I know that are in the know. They shot that back almost instantly. Makes sense. It's an Aaron Boone guy. That is Boone's guy. They're very good friends of the family. And Christian also brought it up, and I also brought it up as something that I could see as something that might be a little bit concerning. But I am here to give the benefit of a doubt because, look, here is what I know for a fact Sean Casey does not have. Sean Casey doesn't have a time machine. Sean Casey doesn't have the ability to put new legs on Giancarlo Stanton. He don't have that ability. He can't go back in time and change the moves and the roster construction that Brian Cashman has felt is the thing. Brian Cashman always seems to just be, he gets out scot-free. He's good to go. A little slap on the wrist every now and then maybe, but he's free. He's good to go. Let's get rid of Dylan Lawson. We got 4 days off, and we're not in the postseason. Perfect timing. I mean, you don't get better timing than this. We're terrible. We're losing. We're now out of the postseason. If the season ended today, we got 4 days off. Let's get rid of the hitting coach and bring somebody in that's a name. That's a story. Nobody's going to talk about the Yankees not being in the postseason right now. It's great timing. Hey, a salute. A salute to you. Tip of the cap. Good call. Smart call. But let's also hear what Yankee fans are thinking about this move. I'm going to read down some of the list here. Again, this is my tweet, and there was a lot of comments. There was a hell of a lot of comments regarding this. I mean, it can't get worse, can it? Caesar, our friend, says, I like it. Old school mind. And hopefully to let him do his thing. Novelty signing to keep the casuals believing his front office knows what they're doing. Griffin, he wasn't too sure about it. Earl Robbins, it states that the Yankees know there's a problem in the club, so firing and hiring admits they're aware of it. Let's see where it ends. I don't know. Cashman is still here. Sal, my good friend Sal says, I love it, Pete. Dave, our friend from Half C's Cookies, I love it for many reasons. New energy, but players got to perform. Warren France, who's in our chats a lot, indifferent. Although Lawson was awful, he wasn't the reason for the abysmal offense. I think he might be part of it, depending on what that messaging was. And it is true. Hitting is a mindset, and you need to have somebody good there with you to talk you through those moments. I'm sorry, guys, I brought this up. I don't want some cat that ain't never faced Major League pitching telling me, hey, kid, you're 1 for 28. I want to look at him immediately and go, when were you 1 for 28 at the professional level? In the minors? Nah. College? Sorry. Big difference. Call me an ass all you want. Big difference from me. I'm sorry. I think the majority of baseball people around the league, the media gurus, and we as fans have watched the team closely, are more focused on if and when Boone is let go. Casey will be okay. He's not the main issue here. So again, Aaron Boone, it is confirmed that Boone got his guy. This is the guy he wanted apparently in the winter. Now he got his guy. And of course, this is from Dane Huber. I like it a lot. Former MLB player. This is anti-launch angle and hit 300 in the bigs. Wants the approach to be standing tall and a level swing. That is the approach that needs to be taught. He's also a taller guy. He should be able to help guys like Jones in the system as well. So how much say is he going to have as an overall push in how the Yankee system is doing their thing? This is Rob right here. Career 302 hitter. Had more walks than strikeouts in several seasons. He's an old school type guy. I expect him to want this team to start working counts and be more selective at what they are swinging at. I like giving a guy with this mentality a shot for the rest of the season and see how it works. So again, you hear a lot of the same mixed reviews. Not sure if it's an immediate impact. At this point, give us something different might be a good thing. I like it. Can't be worse than Dylan Lawson. I have no reason to be upset. I feel fine about it. The move is desperate and unsuccessful. The move by a desperate and unsuccessful GM. And the more you hear about it, the more this had a lot more to do with Aaron Boone. Wanted his guy there with him. And he apparently wanted him in the winter. As you heard from Sean Casey directly, maybe that move wasn't made because his fiance was going through breast cancer and chemotherapy, and his father had open heart surgery. And obviously, Sean Casey was going through a lot of things to make this type of decision. And a big decision is exactly what it is. And he is the new hitting coach of the New York Yankees, folks. I do understand the pros about it that I like. I like that he's old school in that sense, that he talks more about the mechanics of hitting, the mindset of hitting, more than the launch angles and all this. And I'm sure I'll take that into account. But is he going to funnel it the right way? Is he going to discuss that two-strike approach? Is he going to look at guys and go, hey, that's not what we talked about. That's what we need to be doing. Is he going to be somebody that can be hard-nosed and go, look, you're not following what we're telling you. You know, we got to fix this now. Obviously, I can see why somebody's going to be like, hey, I want to work with Casey. His personality is off the charts. You could just tell. He's a genuine guy. You could see it. It just comes out of him. He's a genuine guy, somebody you'd want to be around, somebody you'd want to talk hitting with. All the Boone stuff aside, how is that clubhouse held accountable? Are these guys going to be held accountable? Is Brian Cashman going to make the right moves at the deadline to put a better team on the field? Because again, like I said before, Casey doesn't have a time machine to bring Donaldson back to MVP form. He's not a surgeon that's going to amputate Stanton's legs and put new fresh ones on him. There's a lot of issues on this club, and a lot of it's going to come down to how the roster construction is shaped to end this season. And really, at the end of this month, when it is deadline day, August 1st, we're already on July 11th. Things are going to have to start picking up very, very soon. So I'm okay with this move. I knew a change was going to happen. I do feel like there's a lot of timing to this move and when it happened and why it happened. And let's hope the Yankees aren't as arrogant as some of us think they are, and they let Sean Casey be who he is. Older mindset to hitting, and a guy who can really figure some things out for the Yankees and hopefully truly just get the job done. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the Sean Casey move? Is this the move you're excited about? Do you like the comments he's made? Do you like the comments of A-Rod, Kevin Millar, and Ryan Dempster, and some of your other friends in the chat and things of that nature? But let me know below. And also, guys, like, share, and subscribe to NYY News TV. Later tonight, I will be covering the first 4 innings of the All-Star game. That is going to be Garrett Cole starting, I'll be there for that, the first 4. I am going on foul territory for the 5th inning. So I need you guys to come on over for the 5th inning and blow that chat up. For the 5th inning, blow that chat up, guys. Make some noise for NYY News TV. Show love. You guys already know the deal. But until next time, guys, I am out. I'll see you all a little bit later.